We are back, and we are going to ask you the tough questions now.
Okay, I'm ready.
Can you tell me a little bit about Kokomo Community Concerts?
Well, Kokomo Community Concerts have been around for quite some time. Actually, we're in our 56th season. I personally haven't been here for all those, but we have had as a goal for our organization to bring what we consider to be world-class entertainment right here to Kokomo. The whole idea of this group of all volunteers that have come together, like I said, 57 years ago now, was to not have to have people go to Chicago or New York or even down to Indianapolis to see real top-notch entertainment. And so we've developed the organization, and of course it has matured from its very, very early days to what we have now. And each year we put on 6 different performances.
Wow.
And we try to really vary up the venue to get it as appealing to as many people as we possibly can. We do anything from classical. We've had country artists. We just got off the phone with our next act coming up with the Abrams brothers, which is classified, as you said, as a bluegrass. And a lot of people don't really understand what bluegrass really sounds like. But they also have a rock twist in there as well. So we've been doing this for quite some time. We hire professional acts that are people that you would not necessarily see at a bar or down at a picnic or something like that. So we're really excited about it, and we're pleased to do it.
Now, how do you scout out the acts? How do you find them? For instance, the Abrams brothers. How do you find them to come to Kokomo?
Well, there are several different agencies around the country, and one of them happens to be Live on Stage. That is where the Abrams brothers are actually being booked through.
Oh, okay.
And so there's several others. There's Allied, there's several other companies, but since Abrams brothers are coming up, and we actually got them from Live on Stage, I'll talk about that process. Down in Nashville, Live on Stage is a company that does a lot of different things in entertainment. One of the things of note, quite honestly, is that they go ahead and find all the acts for a lot of the amusement parks, Disney World,
oh, wow.
Six Flags, people like that.
So that's the same agency you're using, correct?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
And so they're very professional, very big time, been in the business for a number of years. And every year they have a conference, and it's a 3-day conference that is down in Nashville, and they have all of the acts that they have signed on for the coming season there, and each act goes ahead and puts on about a 30-minute performance over the 3-day time period.
Oh, wow.
And so we end up having individuals from the various community concerts that are throughout the country. They come, we're able to listen to these people firsthand. And one of the things that you really get from that, personal experience with them when they're acting and or when they're performing is how they communicate with the audience.
Sure.
And we have all of our performances at Kokomo High School because it's the largest place here in Kokomo. There's over 1,100 seats there, and it's a professional stage, professional backstage. So we're very much able to bring these very talented and large groups. I mean, we've had, tumbling and the acrobats from China here, which were 22 people, things like that. So it's a very large stage we're able to bring in.
So it's
a lot of
definitely a variety. You're not just going to
yeah.
see the same type of performance every time.
And that's our goal. We try and mix it up. Like I say, it's 6 individual concerts that we have over the season, and we try and mix it up. We try and make it so that we get a little classical sometimes. We get, like I say, acrobats, teams in there. We get Broadway.
Sure.
We get swing. We get rock. We get country. We get
bluegrass.
A lot of bluegrass. So we try and mix it up, and we listen to our patrons. We have been doing a survey for the last 3 years to try and really plug on in to see what they're interested in. And so we try to do the best that we possibly can. The big thing is we're all volunteers, and because of that, the ticket price, and then we are very blessed to get money from other organizations, Tippecanoe Federation, from Kokomo Arts Foundation, just to name a couple, and then corporate sponsorships, things like that. But all the money that we get, whether it's from the ticket sales or from these other means, none of that goes to salaries or anything like that. 100% of the money goes to actually putting on the production. And these people, as you heard from the phone, just it was over in England just a few days ago and stuff. They actually play around the world, so they are big-time professionals. And they also cost a little bit, okay?
$1 or $2, right?
Yeah, $1 or $2. And so we're very pleased to be able to put all the money that we actually get directly into the acts.
And you had mentioned Kokomo High School as being your location, but when you have those acrobatics, do you have to scout out someplace else, or can it all be done right there?
No, believe it or not, it can all be done there. We can't say enough about the great relationship that we have with Kokomo High School. Like I say, it's the only place that seats 1,100 people and has a large professional stage with all the things that are required backstage to make sure that you put on a good show. We've done things from Broadway in the past where there's a lot of scene and set changes. All of that, because of their multiple layers of curtains, and you can hide things and then bring it forward and things like that. All of that is capable of being done on that stage. So we use them as our only venue. And we are able to coordinate with the school to make sure that we're not interrupting something that they need to do.
Sure.
But it's been working out great, and we've been there, like I say, for a very long time.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be back with even more from Kokomo Community. We are back, and I want to talk about value, because that's truly what your series is.
It is.
When you go to places like Wabash, or when you go to places like Indianapolis to get this type of quality, this type of musicality, you're going to pay. You're going to pay for those tickets. I heard Larry the Cable Guy, now don't quote me on this, anybody, because I just heard it, that tickets were like $250.
Yeah, it's amazing how much money you can spend by going to the theater.
But that's not the case here.
Well, it's not, and the reason, as I stated before, is because we are an all-volunteer organization. So we don't really have any overhead. We work out of our homes, and we have a lot of very dedicated volunteers that take care of all of the aspects, the backstage requirements, the tickets, the publicity. Everything is done by volunteers. And so we put on 6 concerts, in a season for the incredible price of $45 for all 6.
And that's not just each individual concert.
No, it's not. It's $45 for a season ticket, and I absolutely defy anybody to try and find a quality performance like we put on for that price. But this all goes back to the real core of why our organization started. We wanted to have the opportunity for people here in Kokomo, without breaking the bank.
Sure.
To be able to see different types and styles of music, different acts that they might not necessarily come across. And one of the other things that we do with our ticketing is that children and students are free.
Okay.
You still are required to get a student ticket for that, but it says no cost. And so what we're interested in is, let's say with this group that's coming, the Abrams brothers, here on Friday at 7:30 at Kokomo High School. With that particular performance, somebody might say, bluegrass. I've never heard bluegrass. I don't think I'll like that. Come and find out if you like it. I guarantee you're going to really enjoy it, and that's going to be the case with every single one of our performances.
Because let's be
honest, it's not that much.
Right. Let's be honest. Watching something live, whether it be a sporting event, whether it be a concert, whether it be anything school related with your kids, it's always better to go watch it live. You can hear the same song on a video recording or a CD or a DVD, but if you go, you're going to enjoy it because you have that interaction with the performers.
Well, and we as I was talking about earlier, going to the auditions, as we call them, that really gives us an idea of exactly what the interaction is going to be. Because there's probably around between 150 and 200 people at the auditions. So it's a nice little theater. and various representatives from the different community concert organizations throughout the United States. But we can tell whether or not the performer is really going to have a good rapport. And I'll tell you, the one thing that almost every artist that we've had over the years, they love the Kokomo audience.
Really?
They do. And we have such a great reputation. And, you know, these acts talk to one another.
Really?
They do. And so, you know, they're so excited when they, oh, Kokomo, oh yeah, we're really excited. You guys have a really large venue there, and I hear your audiences are fantastic. And our audience are fantastic. They are so warm. You know, they get into the relationship immediately.
Sure.
And so, you know, these acts as they're going around the different community concerts, some of them have very small venues at like a church or something where they can only fit like less than 100 people or so. And then they come to us, and they may have just done a performance with 100, 150 people, and then we have 8,000, 9,000 people in our auditorium, and they're actually more responsive, you know, than the smaller, more intimate group. And so we have a fantastic reputation, and so therefore we try. Really it's wonderful, and so it speaks very highly of the community.
Absolutely.
And so with that, the acts, when we do select them, they're very excited about coming here.
Now, is there any shows left in this season coming up?
Well, besides the Abrams Brothers coming up at 7:30 on at Friday night coming up here, we have our very last show of the season is actually in May, and so make sure I don't make a mistake here. I'm going to get April 28th, and it's called The Far Cry. It's actually a split off of the Boston Symphony Orchestra.
Oh, wow.
But the neat part about this is that all of these folks are quite young. They're in their 20s or early 30s. And they put together this ensemble group. It's more of, it could be classified as a chamber orchestra, but there's like 12 of them, and they just play about anything. Once again, it goes through, you know, formal symphony kind of piece all the way, you know, into remastered rock pieces and things. So, but the great part about it is they're young. I mean, we're not talking about the gray hairs like myself coming out on stage and you know, doing this. And so we think that really energizes not only the older folks in the audience, but also the younger people that may have never had an opportunity to see that type of a performance before.
But they might know a song that they're actually
absolutely, I guarantee it. Through, you know, with every one of these acts, that's why I'm talking about them connecting.
Sure.
And so they will definitely, through their performance, play something that, you know, no matter who you are, if you're in the audience, you're going to say, "Oh yeah, I like this song," or "I remember this song."
Absolutely.
So that's one of the great things. So what we do is we start things off each year. Our season is a little unusual. It starts, you know, in April time frame, and then we kind of take a break over the holidays. Generally around November, we go ahead and hold off until February or March, depending on the season. And that lets everybody have you know, wonderful time with their families over the holidays.
Especially since you are volunteers.
Oh, well, that's true. We need to have a little bit of time with our families as well. But then we kick things back up as the weather is starting to turn a little bit nicer, and finish out the season. So we actually have the season split. But once again, and about 3 concerts in you know, before the holidays and 3 after the holidays, depending on how things work out. But the entire series is $45, and then we also, for individual performances, if somebody says, "Yeah, well, I'm not really sure, you know, but these Abrams brothers sound pretty cool. Let me come to them." You can go ahead and buy a individual ticket for the performance for $20.
Oh, still not bad.
Still not bad, but it certainly is worth buying the season. But for $20 on each performance, and still the students are free. You just go ahead and go to the ticket table to get a student ticket. But what we do is we give priority to our season ticket holders.
Sure.
So the seats are not reserved, individual seats are not reserved, even for our season ticket holders. But we open the theater about an hour prior to the scheduled performance time. And then about a half hour prior, we go ahead and put individual tickets on sale until we fill the house.
But
And
let's be honest, that venue, there's really no bad seat. It doesn't matter where you're sitting in
No, no, there's not. And with rare exceptions, we can fit you in. We have 1,100 seats to fill the place, and we've come very, very close on several of ours. But there's generally a seat for you, and but we do, and people are very understanding about this.
Sure.
They say, okay, I understand why they want to give priority to their season ticket holders. But if you're interested just in a single concert, come on down, and it's $20, and you can get it at the ticket table, which is right outside of the door in the hallway, the main doors that open up to go into the auditorium. Ticket table is right there, and we'll be happy to sell you a ticket.
Can we talk about next season, or can you hint about who's coming?
Well, we haven't got all the contracts signed. It's amazing how far in advance you have to go. We started working on this next season, the 13-14 season, almost 2 years ago. And that's exactly the way that each season rolls. And so you go this last summer is when we went to Live on Stage and some other locations to look at the acts and try and figure out which ones that we need. And then the plugging in is very difficult because as we request the acts, where they are in the United States, and they can't necessarily come from New York, to Indianapolis for a night and then go back to New York or whatever the case may be. So the logistics of it sometimes gets a little bit strange. But what we try and do is we try and have a few weeks in between each concert when we're right in the middle of our season. We try ideally to have like 4 to 6 weeks.
Sure.
But every once in a while, and this is a very good case here because we just had our last concert was Side Street Strutters, and that was at the first part of the month. And so all of us, here we are in the same month, having another concert. But this act here with the Abrams brothers was so good, and we thought that everybody was going to enjoy that we said, okay, even though it's the same month, that's the only time that we can have them here, we'll do that. And so it's more to what we, the quality that we can bring to the area and what the logistics of getting them here is. Yeah,
because as a concert goer, you wouldn't think, oh, they can't fly. You know what I mean? You wouldn't even put that into play. Yeah,
and they obviously, since they have professionals that are dealing in their schedule, and these poor folks have got to have a little sleep too.
Absolutely.
And so they really do a very good job after they get all the contracts for a particular season. And as you heard on the phone, mentioned that this is their last one in their series. For this particular season. But they have to have things pretty well nested, and then they need to give, if there's a fairly long drive, because most of them are, like in RVs and things like that.
Oh, wow.
And some even bring their families with them when they're touring. But, if there's a good distance from the, Midwest out to the East Coast or the West Coast, something like that, they have to give them a few days to do that. And generally, if they are able to find some place, that wanted them en route, then that's perfect. If not, and they have to actually, change parts of the country, they'll give them a few days to do that. So it really is. It's the behind-the-scenes aspect of this thing is really exciting because it's not only having the capability to preview the acts and fall in love with the acts, quite honestly. But then you have to get down to the nuts and bolts of actually, how are they going to make it happen? How are they going to be here? And then the support. It's a tremendous backstage requirement for a lot of these acts. And like I said, we're all volunteers, but we have some really talented people that are very familiar with the backstage operations. And then we also have a totally professional sound system that last couple of seasons we've brought that on in because the quality of the acts are so good, and bless the high school, but they're on a budget as well.
Sure, absolutely.
And so they can only do so much, with their sound system, so much with their lighting system, and we decided that it was worth it to us as an organization, and certainly worth it to our patrons to go ahead and spend that little extra money. to go ahead and have a
Because
professional
honestly,
sound system, and
that'd be
it's
a
just
draw for them as well.
absolutely, and it just blows the people away. I mean, because they come on in, and it's not like a high school gymnasium. It's not. It's a theater, but then with the professional sound, and in many cases, depending on the act, we bring in professional lighting as well. You will think that you're in Chicago or Indianapolis, some other place.
We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and find out how we can get in contact with the concert. So we'll be right back. We are back, and I want to talk about how we can get in contact with you to get season tickets, to ask about shows.
Well, first of all, I have to tell you about our website.
Sure.
It's a mandatory thing to have, but it's Kokomo Community Concerts, no spaces, and then .org. Okay, and if you're interested, like for instance, you had mentioned earlier with the Abrams brothers, that to hear a little bit about it. What we do is we have all of the acts for our current season are right there, and then we have both video and audio sound bites for them for each one of the acts, so you can get a little bit of a flavor. And we try and mix it up to present as much of their venue as we possibly can. So if you're interested in hearing the Abrams brothers or any one of our acts, the Far Cry, which is a chamber orchestra that's coming up in our last performance in April, just drop by that KokomoCommunityConcert.org and you can listen to anything. As far as tickets, we're actually, now since we're winding down, we normally have season tickets available in the community. Big Ben Coffee, we have Windmill Grill. We have several different places that the Herbst pharmacies that you're able to buy the season tickets, but not now, because we are actually finishing up the season, and so we are really just about ready to unveil next season. And we can't do that yet because we don't have all the contracts signed. But actually, very soon, yes. As for our last concert coming on up here next month, we will actually have tickets available, the season tickets for next season, and we will have a complete display of exactly what's going on next season, what acts are there.
Are we going to be surprised?
There's some, well, certainly. Of course you're going to be surprised, Jack. No, I'm very excited about next season because we have a really fun variety.
Oh, cool.
And we're keeping our fingers crossed because there's this one act we don't have signed yet, and I'm hoping that they're able to sign and we're able to get all the logistics worked out because it's a great full season, but with this act it's really going to just put the cherry on top. So what I can tell you is that we have Broadway kind of things. We have some really unusual. It comes to the classical side, but what we try and do on the classical side is, like I say, get some unusual stuff. So it's not just necessarily a single pianist on the stage that comes out and does their
kind of even like
thing.
What's happening in April.
Very much so, yeah. And so we have a lot of that this next season coming on up. That's very, very different things that I think that people are really, really going to enjoy. So that's about all I should say about that right now.
Are you sure that's all?
Yeah, that's no. I want to say more, but I shan't because I'm sure it'll come back to bite me if I say any more.
But it's coming, and it will announce very soon.
Yes, and the tickets are still $45. Okay, they will be $45 for the series of 6.
Sure.
And so we will have those going on sale. Hopefully, I'll be able to come on back and talk about next season. Yeah,
absolutely.
But we're very excited about that. But still, 2 excellent concerts left. And as starting the thing off this morning, we were talking about our next act, which is the Abrams Brothers, and that is this Friday, 7:30. Okay, the doors will open about 6:30. If you'd like individual tickets, just plan on being there around 7 o'clock, about 30 minutes before, and we'll be able to sell you an individual ticket. And it is at Kokomo High School, and so just come on in. It's the main entrance for Kokomo High School, and I guarantee you that you'll see a line there, and so just look for the line.
And about how long is the show going to last?
Most of the shows are right at 2 hours. We ended up having intermission And so normally they play for about 55 minutes or so, and then go into about a 20-minute intermission.
Okay.
And then come on back for the second half of the show. But it'll be a little after 9, starting at 7:30. It'll be a little after 9.
So it's perfect for families.
It is, and no matter what the age is, whether it's 92 or 2 years old, you can come, and it's a fairly nice time frame in there. Now for our last concert, that's actually an afternoon.
Wow.
Our afternoon performances start at 2:30. And so if you're interested in Far Cry, I'm going to check one more time to make sure that I don't mess up. Here's our very, very nice, colorful posting thing here. But Far Cry is on Sunday, April 28th, and that starts at 2:30. And that will be our last one for the season.
And you definitely want to check out the Abrams Brothers because their sound is very unique. It's very different than what most people think of when they first hear bluegrass or when they first, but they give it to their roots. So it's really good. It's a nice twist, and they're very personable, as you heard on the phone this morning. So
yeah, the audience is going to love them, and they joke around a little with the audience. They have a little bit of a story generally that goes with a particular song, and like I say, if they were playing professionally at 10 and 11 and 12 years old,
right.
They're in their 19 and 21, I think, are their ages now. You can bet that they're a pretty polished act. I mean, they've been around that long.
Especially if they're touring the world, and now they're coming to Kokomo. So
right.
We're bringing it for you guys so that
Absolutely.
You can see everything. You don't have to go to those expensive places. You get the same quality performance right here.
Right here.
And it's KokomoCommunityConcerts.org. Everything you need to know.
That's right.
Everything you need to know to get in contact with you guys about shows,
right.
questions you may have, just in general, what acts are coming up.
Right. And on our website, we also have our telephone number, which is actually for our ticket office. And so, like I say, don't try and get a season ticket for next season just yet. That'll be very soon. But go ahead, and if you have any questions at all, give us a call. But we will have individual tickets for both concerts coming on up. They start 30 minutes prior to the performance. So just for the next one coming up on Friday, just come around 7 o'clock for our last performance. That'll actually be a Sunday afternoon. That starts at 2:30, so come about 2 o'clock, and we'll be happy to sell you an individual ticket. And remember, students are free. You still need a ticket,
Absolutely.
But students are free.
And you're sure you don't want to slip up and tell me anything about the next season? There's nothing you want to say.
It's going to be great.
Well, thank you so much for coming in today and arranging the phone call, because I think people get a great idea when it's actually coming from the artist. They're going to be exciting. They're going to be a fantastic show. What else can you say? They're great. They're touring the world, and they're coming to Kokomo.
Absolutely.
Dean, thank you so much.
My pleasure, Chad.
It's been an awesome time. I'm glad you've been in the hot seat. We're going to get him in here even more, because there's all kinds of exciting things, like what's coming up next season?
Well, exciting things, yes. Nice try.
I tried, everybody. Thank you so much. We'll be right back.